Look, I want to talk to you like a real person today, not like a finance guru, not like someone pretending they have everything figured out, just someone who's been there. Because a lot of people think life changes when you make your first $1,000, then they think it really changes at 10,000. But honestly, that's not where the real shift happens. The biggest mental shift, the one that messes with your head the most, happens after $20,000. And if you've ever hit that number or you're close, you already know what I mean, because money doesn't just give you options, it changes how your brain works. And that's where it gets interesting. The first $1,000 feels like everything. Let's start here. Your first $1,000 feels unreal. You check your bank app 5 times a day, you screenshot it, you feel rich, even though realistically, $1,000 can disappear in one bad week. But psychologically, it's huge because for the first time in your life, you're not at zero, you're not surviving, you're breathing, and that matters. But the problem is that money doesn't last long because emergencies don't care how proud you are. Car problem, phone breaks, unexpected bill, and suddenly that $1,000 is gone. So your brain still stays in survival mode. Then comes $5,000 to $10,000. This is where people start feeling confident, maybe too confident. You start thinking, I'm doing good now. You might upgrade something, a better phone, better clothes, better food, nothing crazy, but enough to feel it. And here's the thing. At this stage, money still feels fragile. You don't feel safe. You just feel less stressed, which is very different. You're still scared to lose it. You still think about bills first. You still hesitate before spending. So mentally, you're still operating from fear, just quieter fear. But after $20,000, this is where everything changes. Not because $20,000 is life-changing money. It's not, you can retire, you can't stop working, you're not wealthy. But psychologically, your brain crosses a line because now you're not worried about tomorrow anymore. You're worried about decisions, and that's a completely different game. Survival versus control. Look, when you have less than $20,000 saved, money controls you. Every decision sounds like this. Can I afford this? What if something happens? What if I need it later? Your brain is always defensive. But once you pass around $20,000, your thinking shifts from, can I survive, to, what should I do with this? And that question is dangerous because now responsibility enters the room. This is where people get stuck. Here's the thing. A lot of people hit $20,000 and stop moving. Not because they're lazy, because they're confused. Before, the goal was simple, save money. Now, there's no clear next step. You start hearing things like invest it, start a business, don't let cash sit, inflation is eating it, and suddenly doing nothing feels wrong. But doing something feels risky, so you freeze. This is where it gets interesting. Money anxiety doesn't go away. It evolves. People think more money means less stress. That's not true. It's just different stress. Before, can I pay my bills? After $20,000, what if I make the wrong move? And that fear is heavier, because now the loss would be your fault. Not bad luck, not low income, your decision. That's a different kind of pressure. Simple example. Let's say you have $2,000. If you lose $200, it sucks, but life goes on. Now imagine you have $25,000 and you invest $10,000 in something stupid and it drops to $6,000. That $4,000 loss will hurt you emotionally way more than any struggle before because now you had something to protect. That's when money becomes personal. This is why rich people seem careful. Ever notice how people with money are less flashy? It's not because they're boring. It's because once you've built something, you become obsessed with not losing it. That mindset begins around $20,000, not at $1 million, at $20,000. That's when you realize making money is harder. Here's something nobody talks about. When you reach $20,000 saved, your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as broke, but you also don't feel rich. You're in the middle, and the middle is uncomfortable because you no longer fit with people who spend everything, but you're not around people who think long-term either. So you feel alone financially. You start thinking differently. You notice waste more. You judge purchases more. Not because you're cheap, but because your brain is protecting progress. Lifestyle temptation hits hard here. This is also where lifestyle inflation really tries to attack you, because now you technically can afford nicer things, a better car payment, a better apartment, more eating out, and your brain says you deserve it. And maybe you do, but here's the problem. Every upgrade raises your monthly baseline, which means your $20,000 suddenly doesn't feel safe anymore. So people upgrade, then feel broke again. Same stress, different numbers. The hidden power of $20,000. Here's the part nobody explains clearly. $20,000 doesn't buy you stuff. It buys you time. If you lose your job, you're not panicking. If business slows, you're not desperate. If life hits, you're not begging. That calm, that's priceless. And once you feel it, you never want to lose it. That's when your mindset permanently changes. You stop chasing fast money. Before $20,000, fast money sounds exciting. Crypto flips, risky trades, get rich quick. After $20,000, it sounds stupid because now you understand slow growth beats exciting growth. You stop caring about doubling money. You care about not losing it. That's maturity, not fear. This is where investing finally makes sense. Before $20,000, investing feels emotional. You're checking charts constantly. Every dip feels like danger. Every red day ruins your mood. After $20,000, you stop obsessing. Because you're not investing your entire safety net, you're investing excess. That psychological difference changes everything. You stop gambling, you start planning. Simple math that changes how you think. Let me show you something simple. If you save $20,000 and add just $500 per month, that's $6,000 per year. Without any investing, you're at $26,000 after 1 year. Now add modest growth on top, nothing crazy, just consistency. This is when wealth becomes boring, and boring is good because boring compounds. Why most people never get past this stage? Here's the honest truth. Most people never get past $20,000, not because they can't, because once they get there, they relax, they feel okay, and comfort kills momentum. The hunger that pushed them disappears, so they plateau. That's why this stage matters so much. It's the fork in the road. The two paths after $20,000. Path 1, I made it, I'm good. Path 2, now I need structure, budgets, allocations, long-term thinking, not excitement. Systems are boring but powerful. This is where money becomes strategy. Before $20,000, money is reaction-based. After $20,000, it becomes intentional. You think in percentages, you think in buffers, you think in timelines. You stop asking, how much can I make this month? You start asking, how stable is my future? That's real financial growth. Slight frustration moment. And look, this part frustrates me because social media makes it seem like $20,000 is nothing. People say, that's not real money. But to someone who started with nothing, that's discipline, that's sacrifice, that's saying no hundreds of times. It deserves respect. Just don't let it make you comfortable too early. Final truth, here's the thing. $20,000 doesn't change your lifestyle. It changes your mind. You think longer, you move slower, you protect progress, and once your brain shifts like that, you can't unsee it. Money stops being emotional. It becomes intentional. And that's when real wealth actually begins, not with millions, but with awareness. If you're below $20,000 right now, keep going. If you're around it, be careful. And if you've passed it, don't let comfort steal your future, because the real change doesn't happen when you make money. It happens when you learn how to think about it.